welcome to second year vlog number 3. I miss you all, I love you all, and it's been an interesting week, so I hope you enjoy. This is the types of views that I can get when I come places in New York.
She's wearing orange today.
Here, Robbie's here. This is Lauren's last day of being a teenager. Woo-hoo!
Thank God. I know, I wish I was turning 20. Actually, no, I take that back.
But all the power to her.
I love the breeze right here.
Is that what? That's George Washington, right?
Yes. Actually, it's a bridge.
This is what my friend does in his spare time.
See, this is the paint line.
Climbs up
People got
a random pole. We're actually not really quite sure what this thing is. It's just randomly here in the park. And he's really dumb and climbs it.
So this morning I had my job interview for the Disney store job, and it was kind of a weird experience. Like, I sat down with these people and I told them a little bit about myself, and like in a group of like 7 people, and they sent like 3 away, and then 4 of us went upstairs to talk to another 2 people, and we answered a series of questions, and then we moved and we sat down in the audience. We were at the New Amsterdam Theater for this interview, and that's where Mary Poppins is put on, the production, the musical. And we sat in the seats and we waited, and then I got called to go on an individual interview, so I talked more and more, and then I had to fill out this new hire paperwork because they really loved me and they really wanted to hire me, I believe, because I looked at my little evaluation. I don't know if I was supposed to, but it was there, so I did. And there was a little box that said hire next to it, and it was checked. So hopefully I'll get that job because it would be nice. And I was on the subway today, and this mom and her 2 kids, like these 2 teenage boys, I don't know if they were like, I don't know, 13, 14, they got on, and the second son got caught in the doors, and instead of the mother, you know, helping her son in, she pushed her son out of the doors onto the platform, and the train just left him behind. I laughed like so hard. It was just, I just didn't understand why that even happened. It was just so weird. I had my first class today, and it was Process for the Camera with Raleigh Moreland, and it was awesome. He knows so much about the business, so much about filming and production and casting and acting, and so I really think I'm going to learn a lot from him. Plus, he talked a lot about how much he loves Disney and Star Trek and Star Wars, so I pretty much think I am right in sync with him. We had a conversation about Disney after class. It was nice. So he's really funny, he's really fun, so I think I'm going to learn a lot from him, and I'm really excited for that class, and it was my first class of second year, and soon I will have my other classes during the week, so I'm really excited to continue with the classes. I love this school. I had the worst day. Right, so I go to my guitar lesson, right, I'm really excited about it. It's my first guitar lesson ever, and I'm sitting there, like, waiting for them to call me to go get my lesson, like, come get me, and I was just waiting and waiting, and there was this guy who kind of looked like, I didn't know who my teacher was, but I'd seen a picture, and he kind of looked like that, but, you know, I'm not the type of person that's, you know, like, hey, what's going on here, I need to go get my lesson. So I waited for 45 minutes, which is supposed to be how long my lesson is, and I was like, are you guys, running late or anything, and they were like, no. Well, I was supposed to have an appointment at 12:45 with Lenny. He's like, oh, that's Lenny right there. I was like, oh, but why wasn't he? It turns out that they didn't call him to tell him that I had a lesson. So I had a lesson 45 minutes after I was supposed to. Yay. And then I go sign up for a gym. It's a student rate, so it's only going to be $20 a month, and I knew there was going to be a $99 activation fee. So they charged me, and I go on my merry little way, and I looked at my account afterwards because I was about to go get something to eat, and I always check my account before I buy something, and I had $0, and I checked, and there was 2 charges from the gym. So I called my mom. I was so upset. I would call my mom like 22 times, and she didn't pick up or call me back. I left so many like crying messages to her because I was upset. I didn't know what to do with my money, and like I even tried to go to the bank, and they wouldn't see me, and I was having such problems. So I called the bank, And they were like, well, call the gym to see what happens. So I called the gym, and they're like, oh, we didn't tell you? We do one charge for the charge, and then another charge for activations, and it'll go away once it goes out of holding. And I was like, well, it would have been nice to tell me. I mean, some people do the student rate because, you know, they don't have a lot of money to spend. That's why I did this, but all right, just charge me extra $139. I have that lying around. Great. So I didn't really get to eat much yesterday. My mom, and she called me back, finally, and she put more money in my account, but not after she yelled at me and was like, why don't you ever think about your money? I don't have that much money. I was like, Mom, I didn't do this on purpose. I had enough money to do all the things that I did today. And I had enough money until you put more money in next week, but they screwed me over on this. But then she called me back and she was apologetic, so it's all good now. But still, it was such a long day. I didn't want to have it be like that. I wanted to go home, lay in my bed, sleep because it was a day off. But instead I had to deal with all this crap. I'm taking guitar lessons, and I want to show you what I've learned. Keep in mind, I don't really know much, and I think my guitar's a little out of tune, so please bear with me. I just wanted to show you what I've been working on. It's basically just 2 chords and trying to switch between them. So here we go. Basically what I've been learning. I know it sounded awful and I wasn't quick enough with my changes. So the weirdest thing happened to me today. So I was on the subway and there was this guy who was just like staring at me like the whole time. Like, it was ridiculous. And he was tall and he was kind of cute. But it was just, he wasn't getting off at any of the stops, I noticed. And so I get up at my stop, and I go out the thing, and I glance back, and he's sitting there, and then he gets up, like he wanted to make it seem like he didn't know what stop he was getting off of. And then when I'm on the 18th Street station, I have to walk down the hallway to get to the 19th Street exit. So I did that, and he was following me through that too. So I started like speeding up a little bit, and the light was green, so cars were driving by, and I had to stop at the walk, so he stopped with me, and he made up some stupid excuse, like, where's the Starbucks, and he had an accent, and I told him where it was, and he was like, well, do you want to go coffee with me, and I was like, yeah, I have class, and he was like, oh, well, what about when class gets over? I was like, no, I'll be really tired. He was like, well, maybe I can call you, see if you're tired. I was like, yeah, well, maybe I should call you. He gave me his number, I didn't really write it down or anything, and I just kept walking, and he kept walking with me, and it was the weirdest experience of my life. That's never happened to me. Like, no guy, random guy in the world has ever asked me out just randomly like that. If I had met him maybe at like a nice store, or he hadn't have followed me there, I maybe would have taken him up on it, but he was a creeper who followed me there, so yeah, no. And he was on the subway, so yeah, no. Oh my gosh, Camp Rock 2 was amazing! Oh, I'm so happy I got to see it. Opening night, premiere night on the TV. I loved it. I sang along to all the songs, and I even danced a little bit, and I kind of teared up at the end, kind of. That concludes vlog number 3, second year. I love you all and I miss you all, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a peachy and quality day. Love you!